good? So I got up this morning, it was 49 degrees out, 49 F, as we like to say, Fahrenheit. And I realized that, you know something? There's going to be so many more driving days this year. So I've had quite a few people ask me if I was willing to do another quick Viper video. And I said, well, I got a couple planned coming up, a couple of Viper trips coming up. I'm hoping to do the Tunnel of Trees up near Petoskey and Harbor Springs a little later on, but that's going to be a day trip. So I thought, well, I've got so few driving days left, I should probably just take the Viper out and drive it around a little bit. So in honor of fall weather, I'm wearing jeans. Oh, I'm not sure what that means when your lawyer tells you that he's actually wearing jeans for once. Not coming from a suit, but coming from shorts. But you know how that goes. I'm sure you do. So some people ask me about the Viper, and do I enjoy the Viper, and do I still enjoy the Viper? And I'll tell you right now, yes, yes, and yes. I love the Viper, and still enjoy the Viper. And but I've driven it now about a little over 2,000 miles. So I got it with 4,900 miles in the odometer, right around there. And it's got 7,300 as of right now. I just rolled it over to 7,300 as we're driving up here now. So I've gotten used to it. I've learned most of its little foibles, as they say. And I'm here to tell you that it's all stuff you can live with. So, by the way, you might notice that compared to the last videos I shot, I'm sitting a little lower now than I was before. My good friend Mark Lieberman, who helped me find this car and helped me acquire it, lowered the seat for me. There's actually a kit that they make for Vipers to lower the seats 2 inches. So my seat's been lowered 2 inches, and it gives me a little more headspace up here, a little more headroom. So I appreciate that. And then that's the only modification I've done to the vehicle. I put new tires on it, but that's it. That's it. So new tires, lower the seat, we're good to go. As for the other little quirks of the car, you know, I've seen people complain about them. They say, you know, hey, for instance, it doesn't get good gas mileage. Depends on how you drive it. On the freeway, it gets decent mileage. 20 miles to a gallon, 21, something like that. Driving around town aggressively, no. Mileage goes down the toilet. So what are you going to do? I can tell you that most of the complaints that people have about Vipers, I've seen some videos like why I hate my Viper, things like that. It's all stuff that guys should have known if they'd done some research, you know. So for instance, yeah, the cockpit's a little cramped. You didn't notice that when you got in it the first time. The pedals are offset to make room for this transmission hump. Again, you notice that the first time you drive it. The hood is unwieldy and difficult to open. Again, number one, how often do you have to do that? But number two, who cares? Deal with it. You know, all cars are going to have some little nuances you need to understand. So just get on with your life. It's got a very cramped trunk. In other words, there's no room in the trunk for almost anything. Again, who cares? I'll tell you, there is one thing about the Viper that I'm not too crazy about. And it's a little minor, but I got to mention it. And believe it or not, when they were building the Vipers and selling them, they were a little concerned because the EPA has all these different things about gas mileage and fuel efficiency and emissions and so on. And believe it or not, they actually came up with this wacky idea where if you're driving along under certain circumstances, you're not going too fast, when you launch in first gear, it'll actually put a little indicator light in the idiot light box there, and it'll actually tell you that you have to shift from first to fourth. Skip second, skip third. Who needs it? And the car's got so much torque that it can do that. But it's really awkward feeling. And now I knew that when I bought the car that it had that problem, but I've gone on the internet and poked around, and I've actually seen people who've complained and said, my car occasionally won't let me shift. What's wrong with it? My Viper. And it's, yeah, but it came from the factory that way. And apparently, if you really wanted to economize on your fuel, what you do is you do the 1-4 shift, and I guess that saves gas mileage. I don't know. Engineers smarter than me are the ones who put it together, and apparently it helped with the EPA. So what can I tell you? But other than that, I've enjoyed the Viper a lot. I've taken it to car shows, Cars and Coffee, the Woodward Dream Cruise. I did one very long trip with it up to Copper Harbor and back. I shot some videos up there. And I had a lot of people telling me, they said, Steve, you know, the Viper's a cool car, but you're going to get sick of driving it. No, I'm not going to get sick of driving it. And, you know, if this was my daily driver, like literally every day I had to drive this car in traffic, in snow, in rain, yeah, I'd hate it. I'd hate it. But that's not what the car's built for. The car's built for a day like today. It's a sunny day. A little chilly out, but it's a sunny day. I'm out in the country right now, and I'm just driving down the road, and I can't imagine, for me, a car I would enjoy this much to be driving out here right now. So this is cool. You may notice also, besides the fact I'm sitting 2 inches lower, I did get the Viper seat belt thingies. I don't know what these are called besides thingies. Widgets. And that's simply because the placement of the seat belt runs it across your neck. And I'm still not used to the idea that the seat belts go from here to here as opposed to here to here, like they do on my Explorer. But you know something? Again, you get used to it. So, you know, if that's the only thing I got to put up with, I'll deal with it. So, I was hoping to find some nice windy roads that we could go wind around through, but there's not a lot of that without taking a bit longer of a road trip. So I said, you know something? I'm going to do one more trip this year. That's going to be the Tunnel of Trees up near, like I said, Harbor Springs area in Michigan, which is, no, hang on, this one, no. Hey, they're both backwards. Harbor Springs is up here. So that's going to be a day trip at least. I might drive up and drive back the same day, but when I do that, it's going to be more a matter of, you know, 4 hours in the car, shoot some film, 4 hours driving back. So here we are. Thank you. And one thing I'll tell you about the Viper that's really cool is every time I take it out and drive it, I get more thumbs ups, waves, people yelling nice things. I'm more used to the idea about people yelling mean things in traffic, not nice things. So, you know, that's nice. I had a Jeep Wrangler for a couple of years, and the Wrangler would get a lot of waves from other Wrangler drivers because there's the Jeep wave, you know. But people seem to appreciate the bright red sports car, so I like that. Other than that, though, you know, there's not a whole lot I would change about it. I could pass this guy. He's doing the speed limit. And it's also, there's a no passing zone. So, a couple neat old cars. I'm gonna look for a place to turn around. I like that pavement we had back there. So. There's the 1.4 lockout right there. Reading a discussion board for Viper owners, and somebody said, I hate that 1.4 lockout, can I shut it off? And somebody else said, well, you can go in there and meddle with it, but you can also shut it off by just stepping on the gas more. Because apparently the 1.4 lockout only happens when you're at a certain speed and a certain RPM. And so if you're at the certain speed, you can get about higher by stepping on the gas and get above that, and the lockout won't happen. So that's something you can do. But the other funny thing is, you know, people often ask, how fast is your car? As if there's some way to like put a number on that. You know, 4 stars. You know, now, you know, the top end is alleged to be around 180. And I know that they talk about 0 to 60 numbers and so on. But I have not gone crazy with this thing. Number one, the tires aren't rated for speed. I haven't had it on a track. But to me, the fun part is the handling and the acceleration, meaning from a dead stop, how quickly you can get going. And handling is, you know, like I said, going around corners and windy roads, and how well it grips the road with those big fat tires. So, by the way, I did the math. I don't know if I mentioned this earlier, but I measured the seat where it is now, and my rear end is literally just 8 inches off the road surface. So I measured the height using a tape measure, 8 inches, which you gotta like. So seem to recall up here we had some nice blacktop, so I might dial it up a little bit in a second. But I like these nice country drives, you know. I was going to drive into town to get some ice cream, but it's a little chilly out there, so gotta like the views. A couple of nice big catalpa trees. Love the catalpas. People complain a little bit about the integrity of the interior with respect to noise and rattles and stuff. And you know something? It's a little bit louder in here than my Explorer is, for instance. Not louder than my old Explorer, but it's louder than my new Explorer. But, you know, if you want interior to match the performance, get yourself a Pagani. And by the way, it'll cost you Pagani money. If you want to get yourself an American sports car at an affordable price, I'd rather have them skimp on the interior than on the performance aspects of it. So, again, just because I like telling people this in case you forgot, it's a V10 8-liter 488 cubic inch aluminum block engine running into a 6-speed manual transmission, and it gets up and it goes. So I'm now wondering where this blacktop was that I remember so fondly not so long ago. Yeah, those rumble strips are louder in this car because the tires are so fat. I would think. It seems that way. Oh boy. So, like I said, curves are more fun in a Viper. Blacktop like this is kind of like a blank slate. And a Viper is like a magic marker. Not in that it's going to put any marks down, but it just, this is where this thing belongs, right? So let's go like this. Dead stop. And we'll do a little bit of acceleration here. Now that's fun. Injured in the shooting of this film, no laws were broken. And I'm a lawyer, I would know. I'm a lawyer who handles car cases and traffic tickets. So, the acceleration appears to have thrown that back. So, like I said, I'll edit that out. And I'll narc myself out. I just missed a shift. It happens. Didn't grind them, but it happens. The thing about the Viper is it's very forgiving. All that torque is forgiving. I should start a religion. The Church of Torque. I've never done that yet. Ain't nothing more forgiving than an engine with this kind of horsepower and torque. Because you can put it in any gear you want. It might not be the best thing to do, but you can put it in any gear you want. You'll never stall it out. I've never stalled this thing out, and I don't think you could. It's almost impossible. But it's a lot of fun. So we're now approaching the end of my stretch of nice road here, so I'm gonna wrap it up. But I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed it. I did. And like I said, soon I will do the road trip in the Viper, where I will go up to the tunnel of trees, like I said, up here. And we'll do that. I'll try to, if I can, do that closer to when the fall colors change. So that'd be nice. Because it's trees, you know, tunnel trees, over the road, and that's part of the state that's very, very scenic. And so there would be a lot of very, very nice fall colors up there. Of course, there'd be a lot of looky-loos also up there, you know, so might not be able to open it up as much as I like, but hey, you never know. So anyways, I will talk to you later. Hope you enjoyed it. Bye-bye.